Did you happen to catch the Canes Blue Jackets game from last week where they botched the instant replay call?
You know what? I go back to the whole thing with White King in the finals, and I know when I was with you the other night, people were giving us the whole wah 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 treatment.
After the puck went in.
Did he prevent him from doing his job?
Sure
Looked like on the overhead. Yes, it did.
But if you're gonna do all this revamping to the system and all this, all these extra replays and take all this extra time and measures to get these calls right, you cannot botch them like they botched that one. That's one of the worst calls I've ever legitimately seen in my life. And they changed the rule too with the skate in the air. But both skates were over the line. The puck's clearly not in the zone yet.
Now,
anyone explain that?
It actually goes a little bit deeper into that because I checked out Steve Dangle's accounts of it, and he's great. But apparently, the referee went to the headset and put on the headset and heard somebody say he's on sides. And he took off the headset, and because the headset's already off, somebody's screaming at him going, "We weren't done. We didn't say it's a good goal yet." So then he gives Columbus the penalty. So now they got to kill a penalty on this. Now, at first I thought this was the third period. This was the second period. So they come out and they wipe the penalty off the board, but they keep the goal. Okay. So you couldn't just play 90 seconds more of the third period and admit that there was a problem. So, and oh, by the way, the reason why nobody heard about it was because somebody had to clean the headsets because of COVID. Again, why did they keep the goal? Still don't get that. I'm a big proponent of a replay. You should get it right. It's got to be you get away the obvious stuff, but this one's obvious. I remember a game, Rangers Blues. Roman Turk was in that. That's how long ago this was. That Jan Halab. Yeah, matter of fact, it's going to get even more dated in a second. Jan Halavich scored on a Peter Nedved pass. They finished
checkmates
the period. Yes, they finished the period, and then they came out afterwards and said, "Yeah, Jan Halavich scored. We're going to have to play another 45 seconds and then switch sides."
I don't remember that, but I do remember also, funny enough, another moment involving a bunch of Czechs and the Rangers and the Blues. December 2005, first year back from the 04-05 lockout, and the Rangers are in St. Louis, and they get a power play in overtime. And I believe it was Jaromir Jagr set up Marty Raczynski for a one-timer that ended up missing the net, but hitting directly behind the net, and there was a rut in the ice, and the puck popped up straight up into the air and went off Patrick Lalim's back and in to win the game in overtime. The flukiest goal I've ever seen in my life. And I just had to bring that up because St. Louis Rangers and Czech players scoring a goal. So I really got reminded of that goal.
All right. But I mean, what's your thoughts on instant replay?
It's good. I mean, what I don't get is why that blue line camera is not made available to the fans for every replay involving an offsides, and why we don't see it while the play is being reviewed, because that would clear up a lot of things for fans, and it would help, one, hold officials more accountable, and two, it would make things more accessible. So we can understand, oh, this is what happened. This is the best look. That look should be available. Those cameras are on every rink, in every arena, on every blue line. They should be made available to the fans. And the referees, if they are botching them with those views, then they should be held accountable for their indiscretions.
My take always is if you can't find it within 90 seconds, then the play just stands. I want the play right. I want the play to be right. But when they end up taking like 4 to 5 minutes, then it's just, guys, we're trying to keep the game moving along. And when it comes to baseball, you end up having the pitcher having to throw warm-up pitches just to get any feel back. So it's gotten better over the years, but again, it's this one the NHL really botched, and Columbus ended up, I think, getting 1 point out of the game. They lost by a goal. I know that. I don't know if it was overtime or not, but if they end up missing the playoffs, which it's going to be hard for them to make the playoffs in that division as well, missing by a point, that's going to hurt. It's going to come back on this game.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. Like, I do agree with the whole 90-second rule, or like maybe like a 2-minute type time period where, if you can't figure it out in a certain time, then, obviously there's not enough conclusive evidence to go one way or the other. But in certain situations, you can't have that because the calls have got to be right and the games are too important, the stakes are too high. So there's a thin line to walk on, but I can tell you right now, botching that, inexcusable. So if NHL is going to keep continuing to botch calls like that, easy ones to see, then I think there needs to be major reform within the department.
Oh, hey, you still here? Well, you know what you should do? You should watch some of these other videos on our channel, like this one, comment, and share it with other people.